that green light. Give me that green light, Maine. Give me that green light. Give me that green light, Maine. Give me that green light. Give me that green light, Maine. Give me that green light. Give me that green light, Maine.
Tonight's Greenlight Maine is sponsored by Maine International Trade Center, connecting Maine's businesses with global markets.
Good evening and welcome to Greenlight Maine. I'm your host, Julene Gervais. Thank you so much for joining us. This season is shaping up to be one of the best yet. The companies we have selected are doing an outstanding job showcasing their businesses while putting a positive spotlight on the state of Maine. There are 26 entrepreneurs, all competing for the $100,000 grand prize. Tonight, you get to meet two of them. Our judges have to decide who will move on to the next competition. Let's meet them now. I'd like to welcome Wade Merritt, who is president of the Maine International Trade Center. Welcome and tell us about what's going on at the Trade Center.
Hi, Julian. Thanks for having me on. The Maine International Trade Center is a membership-based organization that's located in Portland that works with companies all around the state to get them ready to go global.
Excellent.
Thanks.
Next, we have Lisa Liberatori, who is co-founder of Covort, author of Power of Transparency, and Lisa's Legit Burritos. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here. I have a real passion for working with entrepreneurs and helping make connections and create an amazing ecosystem, and that's what I've been working on in the Bangor region for the past 2 years.
Nice. We're happy to have you.
Thank you.
And finally, we have Brianna Warner, who's been with us in the past. She's Economic Development Director of Island Institute. Welcome.
Hi there. The Island Institute is an organization who supports the sustainability of islands and coastal communities in Maine. And the Economic Development Department does a lot in supporting small businesses and helping promote economic growth along the coast. So I'm really excited to be here and see some new businesses in Maine.
Excellent. Thank you so much. And now it's time for our first contestant. I'd like to welcome John Cephalou from Health to Humanity. Welcome, and whenever you're ready, go for it.
It's been almost 5 years since my first service trip to Kenya. At that point, it was all about building my college resume, and I wasn't focused on volunteerism at all. At that point, I thought I was going to go, become a hero, come back with a warm welcome, and I realized that I actually came home feeling more so like a loser than anything else. I was kind of whining and worrying, just kind of wishing for a brighter future, while all these people over there in Kenya were busting their backs day in and day out, working for that brighter future without even the opportunity to take a shower. And I learned one major thing, and that's even though we're living very different lives, we all are searching for the same thing, hope. That's when I decided to start Health to Humanity and started creating bars of hope out of my dorm room. Now, at this point, I was a freshman in college, I was playing football, barely used soap, let alone knew how to make it. So after hundreds of fails of attempts and hours of watching YouTube videos, finally came up with the recipe we still use today. And we're using this soap as a vehicle to be able to create jobs, develop economies, and improve the hygiene standard all around the world. And these bars of soap really transcend the bathroom. I mean, the all-natural product, it invigorates your skin, it fights acne, diminishes scars, fades wrinkles, and it's really something that literally helps you change the world with your purchase. And with 10% of our gross revenues, we're helping to fund our global programs, and we're not simply giving people soap, we're teaching them how to make it so they can generate revenue for their local economies and distribute it to the high-need areas while hitting poverty at the source. So we now have the opportunity, after finishing last year with $60,000 in revenue, and this year up to $270,000 in revenue, to be able to drastically grow our business in Maine by purchasing a manufacturing facility up in Madawaska. And this allows us to not only grow our business, but make more of an impact by creating immediately 19 jobs, supporting the local suppliers and businesses around the area, and helping us to cut our product costs by around 40% and diversify our product line into shampoo, conditioner, lotion, lip balm, you name it, and help reach our goal of $8 million of revenue by 2020. So we hope you'll help us in our journey to change the world one bar of soap at a time. Thank you.
Excellent job. What a great cause. And I'm sure Madawaska is so happy to have you guys.
Yeah, very excited.
All right. Okay, so Wade, first question goes to you.
Yeah, thank you. Great pitch. $8 million, it's an awful lot of soap to sell in 2020. I'm wondering if you could talk a little bit about your plans for distribution. Are you planning on being a regional player or an international player? What's your plan there?
So we just started our brick and mortar distribution in January. We've signed on 96 stores since then. We have meetings with Walmart next week, and we are actually partnering with As Seen on TV for a few infomercial spots this year. We have a very, very aggressive retail strategy and e-commerce that's going to back that up. And with our projections, we're on track to hit that very conservatively.
Lisa.
Tell me about your board. Tell me about your team. Who's around you?
So we are actually moving from California. This is a brand new expansion. We're building the team kind of as we go. Right now, it's just me and two others. One is named Kiana, and she's managing all the international aspects, and the other's name is Dee, and he's managing all of the sales aspects. So we're actually trying to rebuild our board here in Maine, and actually trying to bring on more management positions up in the region as well.
Brianna.
You said that you are looking to source locally, but also that you're looking to source from Kenya. So I'm trying to figure out what ingredients you're talking about that come here from Maine and what comes from Kenya, and how you feel like, you know, starting a plant up in Madawaska with 19 people will also contribute to jobs elsewhere.
Yeah, so up in the county, I mean, there's a lot of different botanicals and additives that you can add into soap that are sourced directly here within the state of Maine. Most of the oils are imported in, but that's also, we're using local logistics managers and shipping companies to be able to actually get those raw materials in and ship the finished goods out. So not necessarily the entire supply chain here in Maine, but a lot of it, whether it's direct or indirect, is being put within the state.
And how about the jobs part, when you're talking about teaching people to make soap in Africa?
So a lot of that, it's mainly in developing nations, just based on the kind of aggressive strategy to try to start up as many soap businesses as we are. We do have local kind of education programs we're working with in different schools that we've been rolling out, and partnering with community centers and volunteer groups like the Boys and Girls Club, like the Boy Scouts. So we're looking to roll that out a lot more in the coming 6 to 8 months.
Okay, great job. Just roughly, how many jobs will you be employing in Madawaska?
We're looking to create 19 on the first day.
Nice, great. And a product made in Maine. Nothing beats that. Okay, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're talking about how the Maine International Trade Center can help your business. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Greenlight Maine would like to thank the Maine Department of Economic and Community Development, the Maine DECD, helping businesses and communities prosper.
I'm George Gervais, Commissioner of the Maine Department of Economic and Community Development. At the department, we work tirelessly to improve Maine's competitiveness. If your business needs help navigating through red tape and regulations, or is looking to invest or expand, our team of governor's account executives is a great resource. Government can't create jobs. It's our goal to become your partner, making Maine a better place to visit, study, and invest.
Are you trying to increase sales? At Dream Local Digital, we've been helping businesses using Facebook, Google, and other online tools for over 8 years. We're experts at helping small businesses because we work with them nationwide.
Dream Local publicizes the important part of me and what I stand for and what Archers is about.
We'd love to help you grow your business as well. Give us a call today.
Welcome back to Greenlight Maine. Today's sponsor segment is with the Maine International Trade Center. I'd like to welcome the president, Wade Merritt. Thank you so much for being here. And let's talk about the Trade Center. I think people really would like to know about all these trade missions that you organize. There's been a lot of successful ones in the past. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, well, thanks for having me on, Julene. So yeah, the Maine International Trade Center is a membership-based organization. We're located in Portland, but we cover the state. And what we're really in the business of doing is promoting the state's economy and the businesses worldwide. So one of the things that we're kind of get the most attention for, I think, is taking groups of companies from Maine who may not be willing or able to do it on their own, but are more comfortable doing it in a group, and we'll take them overseas to a trade show, or we might take them on a trade mission, often with the governor, sometimes just with our staff. I think last year we had probably 35 to 40 companies from Maine, small and large, from all over the place, that attended probably six international trade shows and brought home about $30 million of international sales. So it's big stuff for us.
Excellent. And you're already planning next year's mission. How's that going?
It's going really well. We'll be kicking off our fall season with a trip to Iceland in October. We'll be doing a trade show for small food producers, actually in San Francisco, but there's a lot of Asian buyers that come there. That'll be in January. and we're working on a mission to Asia, Singapore, and Taiwan for next April.
Excellent. So if one of our contestants or some small businesses watching, they want to get involved in this, what's the best way to do that?
Well, if you're already doing business internationally, or you feel like you're ready to do that, you certainly pick up the phone or visit our website at mitc.com and talk to one of our trade specialists about how best to do that. Many companies may not be ready for that yet, so we do offer a slate of consulting services and research that companies can access to find out if they're ready or find out what they need to know to move on to the next market.
Yeah, and I think that's important to note here. So if a company isn't ready to scale up to that level, you would encourage them to reach out to learn more about how to do that and get involved so they could get ready for the next one.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think, like I said, 35 companies probably did an international trade show with us last year, but there were probably 800 of them that called just because they had a question. Is my product ready to go international? Am I ready to go international? I'm already going international. I could do it better.
Sure.
And that's really what we're there for. So.
Let's talk about some advice. You deal with all kinds of different companies, small, large, whatever. What is the most important piece of advice you would give to contestants on our show?
Sure. Well, I think the basic piece of advice I always like to give is know your company and know what you do well. And that's probably, that doesn't really matter whether we're talking about international sales or anything else. Know your company and know what you do well. Once you get that figured out, and not that that's an easy thing to do, mind you, making sure that you've got the right service providers behind you, a good bank, a good law firm, a good shipping agent to be able to help you through the process. This is not something for the faint of heart. It's certainly not easy, but it is attainable if you've got the right team in place.
Absolutely. And it's never too early to reach out to Mitzi and get involved.
It's never too early. I've been doing this for 20 years. It was probably too early then, but many companies now are what we call born global, and they have an international market when they're in the startup phase just as well as they do if they've been an established company for years. Never too early to be thinking about this thing.
Excellent. Thank you so much for being here. Some great tips and advice on getting involved in the business community with the Maine International Trade Center. This is President Wade Merritt. And we're going to take a short break. When we come back, our next contestant is going to show you how he is cleaning up Maine and the rest of the country. Don't go away. Stay with us.
FAME is one of the great resources in our state to enable businesses to find financing.
FAME helps Maine businesses create and retain quality jobs.
Every person that we've dealt with at FAME has been helpful and has been, for us, a partner.
The whole idea is to find the right tool for the right job. FAME is the right tool because it's flexible and they're there when you need them.
From business startup through maturity, FAME works to get you to yes.
Thank you, FAME.
Thank you, FAME.
Thank you, FAME.
You give gift cards, you get gift cards. But how do you make them matter more? With Bowie Local. This gift card makes it easy to support local businesses and gives those you care about a local choice. The Bowie Local card can be used at participating local businesses throughout Maine. That's right. You can now give the gift of local. Bowie Local gift cards keep Maine communities thriving. Support local, give local. Give the gift card of Maine at bowielocal.com.
For more information about the presenters and panelists on all the Greenlight Maine shows, visit greenlightmaine.com.
Welcome back to Greenlight Maine. Our next contestant is cleaning up the country one cigarette butt at a time. I'd like to welcome Mike Roylos from Sidewalk Buttler. Whenever you're ready, take it away.
Hi, how are you today? My name is Mike Roylos with the Sidewalk Buttler. This is our intelligent cigarette recycling container. In Portland, we've got about 200 of these. And last year, we picked up in excess of 1 million cigarette butts. They're a container that you open up like this. Inside of here is the container for the thing. And this, amazingly, is why we do this for. It's all about clean water. One cigarette will pollute about 1 liter of water without any issues. So what we've been able to do is come up with a device such as this that we're selling across the country now that are put on poles and posts where people actually walk and talk where they actually are. Back in the 80s, that's when the move to move smokers outside of buildings started to happen. There's been no accommodation for them. We don't really chastise smokers, we just don't want them to litter. And we found that if you provide them with a device that will allow them to get rid of them by themselves, they'll generally take care of it. So it's worked out pretty well. We've been in Portland about 4 years now. We just moved. We're in 22 states now, shipping in 22 states, and it does a nice job. So that's pretty much it.
All right, well, great. And are you all across Maine?
We're mostly in southern Maine. We're Wells, Algonquin, York, I said Algonquin, Old Orchard, Portland, of course, and New Hampshire, Portsmouth, going up to Dover, Rhode Island, New York, where else? California, Oregon. We're in Hawaii. We just picked up Puerto Rico as one of our locations. And our whole mission is to collect cigarette butts, number one, keep the water clean, plus also provide jobs. This is a great entry-level position. Portland has worked with an outfit called Workfare, and they employ people to go out and do the emptying of the service of these. And it's been a really good model for them also. Salem, Massachusetts, one of our partners just won the Massachusetts Innovation Award for using our product. So we're very happy with it. We're very happy with it.
Okay, first question, Wade.
Thanks. Great pitch, Mike.
Thanks.
I'm from the Maine International Trade Center, so my question for you, you're in 22 states, is do you see an international application for this?
We would love to be able to do something. They pack very well. That's one of the issues. Cigarette smoking across the country, across the world, is it's enormous. This is a nice way to do it. They're nice, compact. You can put your messages on either side, any language you want. We can do anything you want. That's a great way to do it also. Sure.
Tell me about your plans to grow. If you win, what are you doing?
Basically, what we found over the last few years are our plans to grow. We sell to municipalities, organizations, social organizations. We were down in Washington, D.C. this last January at the Keep America Beautiful National Conference. We spoke there, and we got an enormous amount of feedback and an awful lot of orders from there also. So our growing is that aspect. If and when we win the prize, about a third of it is going to be geared towards marketing, because that's a lot of what it is. We want to be able to produce more of them. We've worked with Goodwill Industries, Easter Seals, and we're talking to Wounded Warriors to do the manufacturing and also the collection of the units also.
Nice.
Pretty good, yeah.
Brianna.
So where is your manufacturing done now, and how many jobs are created?
Currently, they're done at my shop because we're not that big yet. In Portland, yes. We've had to double our size actually since in the last year. We've got I hire somebody on a part-time basis to build them. I can handle the load currently. Like I said, we've done about 900 this year. It gets bigger than that. We've spoken with other job shops. They'll be able to take the bigger burden of it. Our main concern with the workfare, with the work, is to be able to provide people who don't work in cubicles, essentially, to be able to do the collection. You get 1,000 of these in an area, that becomes a full-time job for somebody, and that's a great way to get back into the workforce.
How many of these guys do you have out in the world right now?
In the world, we've got 1,400 of them in the last couple of years. And again, they're from coast to coast. We're in Texas, and Surf Riders in California has picked us up. We're in Oregon, Bend, Oregon, going into the other Portland. And it's a nice program. And it's something, we warranty these for 20 years. So it's something that once they're installed, people use them, they're going to use them, and it keeps the water clean all the time.
Okay, great job. Thank
you.
you. And we got to take a break, but when we come back, we're going to hear from our judges, so don't go away. Okay.
Furniture for Greenlight Maine is provided by Thomas Mosier Furniture, handmade American furniture since 1972.
For almost 25 years, Maine Biz has been providing business news, information, and analysis for business owners and C-level executives in Maine. From Fort Kent to Kittery, Maine Biz serves the decision makers of Maine across multiple channels, including its flagship print digital publication, website, events, daily report, real estate insider, and weekly newsletter. Let Maine Biz help your business succeed. Inform, engage, connect.
In 1972, Tom Moser committed his life's work to craft, and 4 decades later employs 70 fine craftsmen and women in our shop in Auburn, Maine. With showrooms and customers from coast to coast and numerous awards and accolades, Tom has firmly established himself as an entrepreneurial tour de force and has proven that a life doing what you love is indeed possible.
This year's winner of Greenlight Maine will win this handmade Thomas Moser beacon box and $100,000. Broadcast facilities provided by NESCOM, the New England School of Communications at Husson University.
Welcome back to Greenlight Maine. This is the part of the show where we get to hear from our judges and what they think. We learned a lot about both of these companies during the break. Tough decision, you guys. 2 great companies, 2 great causes, cleaning up the environment, helping underdeveloped nations. So what do you think?
It's tough.
Yeah, it is tough, isn't it?
I think that it's great that they can revitalize a mill area and bring those workers back. I think that's fantastic. And then you have this other business that's looking to employ people that might not traditionally fit in the workforce as easily. And so there's just so much difference and variety in how they can both develop the economy in Maine.
Sure, both of them are creating jobs, which
amazing.
is
yes,
what we
that's
like
what we
to
want.
see.
Yes.
Absolutely, yeah.
Great story for, especially for Health to Humanity, who's really coming here from California to Madawaska. And as we were discussing during the break, it's often not a story that we're pitching out there that this is a great place for people to come. This is a great place for people to move. He had no connection to Maine, and he wants to, but he wants to be here. And I think that that's a pretty exciting.
And he
exciting
mentioned
angle.
how welcoming the business community of Maine has been to him, which is great and encouraging for others who want to come here and start a business. That's right. Yes.
I think what I really liked about Sidewalk Buttler that we learned during the break was that he set up an entire system of automation around how people can check the sidewalk butlers, how municipalities can integrate it into their towns, and how it can be best utilized. And I was really impressed by the way he's kind of thought through this, and also what he has in place to scale up fairly quickly. He has a manufacturing background and knows how to kind of move these things forward if he were to get big orders. So I was really impressed at kind of the holistic look at that. Equally so, for the soap company, I mean, the fact that he has such experts on board already doing his marketing, and that he's looked to Maine for the incentives, despite the fact that it was across the country. They're both really impressive businesses for how much they've prepared for these going to scale and creating jobs, both here in Maine and elsewhere, where their product is going.
I thought it was really interesting too. I mean, I think Sidewalk Buttler was telling us that 1 pound of cigarette butts is 500 watts of energy. Yeah. I kind of make the assumption, like you did, that these just kind of get dumped back into the trash, which I guess they do, but then they make their way into Echo Maine, and they're then turned into electricity for the grid, which I thought was a really kind of innovative use for them. For something that most people just kind of throw.
Yeah, so it's not thrown away as trash. Every piece of that gets recycled, which people did not hear. That's what we learned from him.
He also said something about there's an alternative program that can be used elsewhere that can turn the cigarette butts into railroad ties. So I think
the filters.
Right, that's right. I mean, I think just the level of sophistication of both of these companies and how well they've thought through the entire supply chain and how they could scale. I mean, I think that it says a lot for the direction Maine's going when we have 2 companies like this, either moving here or being here in the first place. It's really exciting.
Sure. Yeah, you definitely have a tough decision tonight. So let's talk about what you would like to see from them if one or the other makes it to the finals 6 months from now. What kind of information will you be looking for?
Well, I think that, when we talk to Health to Humanity, he's interested in getting into Walmart. The big hit with Walmart is you want to make sure that they're not getting so focused on Walmart that they tend to exclude everybody else. I think that would be one thing that I would like to see is a diversified marketing plan beyond the fact that we're in Walmart, which is great. I mean, that's certainly a feather in his cap. For Sidewalk Buttler, I also had Bree beat me to the question about the scale-up piece of it, but really like to see what the plan actually is moving forward for when, LA shows up and says, we want 50,000 of these. That's what I would be looking for from them.
Sure. Is he going to be ready?
Is he going to be ready?
Yeah. Exactly.
I think the Sidewalk Buttler, I was interested to see how is he going to need more capital? Is he thinking about going out and raising equity? Because I didn't get the impression. It seems like he's really bootstrapped it, and he has a lot of great resources. So interested just to see how he plans on building that out. And I think for the soap company, it's going to be about managing expectations. I think they've got really aggressive goals, and recognizing that when you grow that there's a lot of pain with that, and sometimes you might have to slow down a little bit to make sure you have a solid foundation and not just sprint too hard.
Sure, because they are a startup.
Yes.
Yes.
And I think they're a startup that, although their product looks beautiful, there are a lot of soaps out there.
Sure.
You can go into Walmart or Whole Foods or really anywhere, and there'll be maybe 30 varieties of handmade soaps. So I'd like to see some, more recognition of product differentiation and what their strategy is to do that, whether at the marketing level, or making their packaging something that is clearly different from what else is out there. And I think for Sidewalk Buttler, I think when you're talking about municipal contracts, you really need something that's very clear as to the steps that municipalities can take to incorporate the product, test the product, and what it will do for their municipality. So I think some sort of clear articulation of how it's going to be as easy as possible for municipalities to take on would be something I'd like to see.
Great discussion. Okay, we got to take a quick break. When we come back, who will get the green light? Don't go away.
As a leader in Maine and New England in providing integrated accounting, consulting, and tax services to clients large and small, the team at MacPage has proven to provide innovative solutions to help us better meet our clients' needs. We enjoy the people we serve and care about the work we do. The success of our business is based upon our ability to develop quality relationships, one client at a time. MacPage. Accessible, approachable, accountable.
I'm George Gervais, Commissioner of the Maine Department of Economic and Community Development. At the department, we're focused on making sure Maine people have the opportunity to build wealth. We do that through targeted activities aimed at retaining and creating jobs, marketing our beautiful state to millions of visitors, businesses, and marketing for workforce talent, helping new products and services and ideas commercialize, and getting Maine businesses access to new markets across the world, improving our competitiveness, making Maine open for business.
Welcome back to Greenlight Maine. It's time for the big reveal. We have two great companies tonight serving great causes, but it's time to find out who's moving on. Judges, who's it going to be? And that means Sidewalk Buttler is tonight's winner. Congratulations to Mike. He is moving on in the competition. We are getting some great feedback from you at home, so keep it coming. Like us on Facebook and tell us who gets your vote. If you are interested, we also have a lot of resources for businesses online at greenlightmaine.com. We look forward to seeing you next week on Greenlight Maine, same time, Saturday evening at 7:30. Thanks for joining us. Have a great night. Congratulations. Nice job.
Greenlight Maine has been brought to you by the Maine International Trade Center, connecting Maine's businesses with global markets. Greenlight Maine would not be possible without the support of all of our corporate sponsors. Thank you.
Give me that green light. Give me that green light, Maine. Give me that green light. Give me that green light, Maine.
Greenlight Maine has been a paid-for presentation by the Portland Media Group.